It's tech time with Carlette.
Hey, Francois.
Hi. How are you? How was your Easter?
I well rested. And
Yes.
It was good. It was good.
All
Lent is
right.
over, so I hope you stuck to your sacrifice.
I did stick
mine.
to them, and I think I'm going to make it overflow, you know. I mean, I think it's working. I changed some eating habits and things like that, and I survived it, and I think I can do without some things.
Overflow. I'm most impressed.
Yes.
I will not be participating in the
Oh, really?
overflow. More power to you.
You're going back to your wicked ways.
Oh, yes. Shamefully. I'm not too embarrassed to talk.
I'm not going to ask you what you gave up and what your, well, you would have gotten back to it on the weekend,
Yes.
I suspect.
With very little hesitation.
Okie dokie. Tech time, what we
Yes,
got today?
We've got internet banking today.
I see.
Internet is great. All things internet are great.
Are we on the internet?
We are. We are live.
Yes?
Yes, we are
This
live.
is the audio streaming,
This is
or-
the video streaming.
meaning people will see it as it's happening
People
right
will
now.
see it as
Where
it's
would they go
happening.
to get that?
They would go to trivialonfame.blogspot.com. There's a window right there.
Yeah.
Below the Trivial Pursuit logo. You just
Okay.
click play and you can see what's happening in the studio right now. So
Oh,
if I
that's
pick my
interesting.
nose, they can tell.
Oh dear, so we got to stop all
Yes,
of that.
we've gotta-
Got to wear long pants and everything
And
now.
everything. Let me sit up straight. and I'm
But
off
if
the
they can't get it now, they can get it later on.
Yes, they can still get it later on because we record it and we put it up on the same blog site.
I tell you, it's crazy technology. So we're talking about
Internet banking.
Internet banking.
We're going through an internet series. There are very few things that you can't do on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the great things about the internet is banking. I was chatting with some friends yesterday, big up to the Shoters, and I haven't been inside a bank for years.
Oh, years?
Yes, years. It's not because I have a bureau. I literally have not been inside the bank. If I
Really?
need check leaves, I can order it online. If I need to transfer money between accounts, I can do it online. There are very few things that I need to do that I can't do with internet banking.
I have started to do it. There are some things that I find it really does help, and you keep up to date. I don't find that everybody is as like, I don't know why. Maybe it's a certain institution, but the password thing, it goes and it
Yes,
changes,
it
and
changes.
and
it
it's
can be
frustrating.
challenging. We have 7 commercial banks in Jamaica, and
Yeah.
almost all of them offer internet banking to various degrees of security. And they're doing this for your protection. People are very aware of internet banking because they feel if you can hack my email account, maybe you can hack my bank account if I use
Yeah.
internet banking. Generally speaking, internet banking is safe.
It's safe.
The banks have put in lots of encryption and all sorts of measures to make sure that hackers can't get in. But if you leave your password idle, then
What do you
that's
mean
encrypted.
by that?
Do you write down your password ever?
No.
A lot of people do, and then a lot of people have ridiculously stupid passwords like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Or their daughter's name.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about, and things of that nature. So the banks are encouraging you to have a much more challenging password, 8 characters or more, a mixture of letters and numbers and things like that. And we can go through passwords and stuff. And then they force you to change it every couple of months,
Yeah.
because they want to make sure that no one else has access to it, because you might have left it out.
My bank used to change it like literally every couple of months. I said, come on.
Yes.
And then they changed that, and
They
they
changed
seem
it to 1 year now.
Yes.
I know which bank you're with because I had that problem. And then there's another bank whose protections were so advanced that quite frankly it was frustrating, and I had to call them and they changed it too. You could not key in your password on the keyboard. You had to click on your password on a virtual keyboard on the screen. Which, okay, is good. What it means is that if you're using someone else's computer, they can't track your keystrokes to figure out what your password is. If you go into an internet cafe, you have no security as to who is tracking your keystrokes. But guess what? Then they didn't use a QWERTY keyboard. So the virtual keyboard on the screen that you had to click in
It was
was
difficult
randomized.
to negotiate.
And then you couldn't use sequential numbers. So you couldn't use 3, 4, even if your password continued to be 9, 2, 7. Oh,
What are the problems with using Wi-Fi doing internet banking? Can people snatch your information through the air as they suggest?
So I saw Swordfish, great movie, and yes, maybe some really high-end international hackers can do that. But the reality of the situation is most people can, and certainly for the money that I have in my bank account, no one's going to waste the time and effort. So at the retail level, right, we don't need to worry. There are not too many people trying to hack into our account.
What about businesses?
Businesses need to be a little bit more concerned. So for my business, I have a whole different set of passwords. I have to have an access password password different from a transaction password. They change my password more often. So they have a lot more protocols in place for business than they do for retail.
And are there disadvantages to internet banking?
What disadvantage? I get
Well,
all-
first of all, the bank people don't know you because you're not a regular face,
Fair enough.
so you're not going to get any breaks or any favors done for you because you're just a number to them.
Really?
Yeah.
Those work well. But those that don't have that, just be polite. Most banks help customers. They're not there to be difficult just because they don't know you. But I love the fact that there's a commercial on TV where you see a woman come home and she puts popcorn in her microwave and she sits in front of her computer and she goes click, 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 and by the time the popcorn is finished, she has all her bills
Okay,
paid.
it's a commercial.
It is that easy.
It's not that fast.
It is.
Because you've got pages to navigate, and then when you do what you're doing, it has to check to see if your authorization is all right. So that's a little stretch.
I disagree, but we can agree to disagree because I've been able to pay my bills, I've been able to set up standing orders, I've been able to order check leaves, I've been able to transfer between accounts, I've been able to pay my credit card bill. There is not a function that I can imagine, oh, there's one check that I have to write a month, separate and apart from that, I never have to go to the bank.
Okay, and so all bill payments are accepted. They had a problem
Pretty
with the
much.
Water Commission the other day.
Yes, I noticed
But
that, but they've resolved
They
it.
have finally
Thankfully.
resolved it.
Thankfully, it was only about 2 months, but
But what about paying on the due date, and how soon does the money go to the account?
very, very good question.
I'm a very bright man.
You are.
Yes.
Yes. No doubt about that. Do not wait until the due date because internet banking is not for last minute payments. If it is that you've passed the due date, they've already cut off your light or water and you need to pay, you need to go into the institution. Now, initially, it took about 3 days for a payment in internet banking to reflect in the service provider's account.
3 days?
I've noticed that has reduced considerably. So if I pay my bill today, by tomorrow when I look at my utility bill, if I use internet banking to pay my bill today, tomorrow when I look at my utility bill, I will see the payment reflected. But why take the risk? Internet banking is not perfect. And yes, when you get paid, you pay your bill immediately and don't wait until the due date because you may find yourself facing late payment charges because it's not the institution's fault that the bank took a while to transfer that payment. So make sure you pay early. But it's good, you break yourself into being disciplined and paying your bills on time and then start for the rest of the month. Then you'll always have light.
So to get the internet banking, you do have to go into the bank, don't you?
Yes, for that you do have to go into the bank. And it might be the last time you go into the bank. You sit down, you sign up some forms, they verify that you are you. Now, with different banks, if you forget your password, there are different procedures as to how you can get it back. Certainly,
That's another problem, forgetting the password.
Yes, and when they change passwords regularly, people tend to forget them and then get locked out. Lots of times they're tied to your bank card, so if you have your bank card, you can input some information from your ATM card, and then you're good to go again. Others, you do have to walk in. Certainly on the business side of things, every time I forget my password, I do have to go into the bank. I do have to fill out new forms. I practically have to be fingerprinted before they issue new passwords. But I can understand, for business that would be important. For retail,
So clearly, Carlette is saying internet banking
Yes.
is the way to
think about
go.
it. You don't have to drive anywhere, so you save gas. You don't have to stand in line, so you save time, right? You don't have a bunch of papers that you don't want to file, and you just throw them out, and then people can
What
see.
about back information of your transactions?
You got that too?
You can get that?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can. And I'm going to say, too, another reason that you shouldn't worry about internet banking, identity theft. If it is someone hacks into your account and steals what little money that you do have, this is after all the year of 20 tax, I know you don't have a lot of money. If they do steal the money, you go to the bank and you say, listen, that wasn't me. The bank says, really? Let's check that. No, it wasn't you. Okay, here's your money back.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
That sounds like a plan. Internet banking, if you agree with Carlette or you have some further questions that she has not addressed or she said something that you don't think is correct, then you can text us right now, 878-FAME, that's 878-3263, and or if you have other questions, we force her to stay a little bit longer and she will be answering those questions for you on the other side of the news. If you want to